This is a Douk stereo line level booster. The purpose of it is to be able to turn up several speakers at once without having to go over and turn up each one manually. It can also increase their factory volume, but I would not recommend doing that because it could blow them out. So if you're ever going to use this, keep it at least half volume. So keep the knob like right there instead of all the way up right there. Alright? Because if it's all the way up to the max, it increases it by 20 decibels over the limit, and it could blow out the speaker, which you do not want. So yeah, the only issue with this is that it distorts the sound from the speakers, so if you're going to be using it, keep that in mind. I'd use it for heavy metal or something like that, so it's like more grainy sounding, you know? Anyways, I'm going to hop into this, and I'm going to show you what kind of cords you're going to need to be able to hook this up to a tablet. So from a tablet to some speakers, okay? Start, what you're going to need is RCA jack cord, left and right on both sides, right? Then you're going to want another RCA jack cord, but instead of having it on both sides, you're going to want to have a headphone jack on one side, which is an adapter. You're also going to want to have a RCA jack port adapter. You don't need the yellow one, you just need left and right audio. You don't need video. We're not using video for this, obviously. Then you're going to want to have an aux cord like this on both sides. Here's the other side to it. Then you're going to want to have two headphone jack splitters or a cord similar to that aux cord that I just showed you, but instead of having a headphone jack like this on both sides, you're going to want to have it with the headphone jack ports on both sides. I don't know where you'd find that. And then the big thing that you really need for this, that it will not work without, is this right here. It's a 5 volt to 24 volt DC charger, right? Any kind will work. It could have a USB port on one side, or it could have a big old adapter like mine has. Could be a billion years old like mine. Anyways, anything will work as long as it's 5 volts to 24 volts, and it's a DC power adapter. Right here. Boom. So that's what you're going to need for this. So I'm going to start off by showing you how to do this. First, you're going to want to plug in one of your headphone jack splitters into the headphone jack on the tablet. There we go. Now we have it plugged in. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab this aux cord, and you want to plug it in, like so. So just, plug it in. And then you're going to want to grab your stereo line level booster, the Douk one, and you want to plug in the cord to it right here, like so. Watch out. There you go. Next, you're going to want to grab your adapter for the RCA jacks, and you're going to want to plug it into your headphone jack splitter, like so. Hang on. Let's get this. It's hard to do with one hand. Very hard to do with one hand. There you go. And then you're going to want to plug it into your stereo line level booster over here. So you're going to take the white one, plug it into the white, red one, plug it into the red. Easy. There you go. Now you got that plugged in from one side. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your RCA jack cable cord with the RCA jacks on both sides. Do the same thing with you just did on the other side. Plug those in. Alright? Plug them in. That's my leg, by the way. Then, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your DC power cable right there. It says 5 volts, 24 volts right there. And you're going to grab it, right? Like this. And you're going to plug it in. And then you're going to take this right here and you're going to plug that in. So I'll go do that real quick. Now once it's plugged in, you should have a little light going right there to indicate that it's powered on and running. Next, take these two and plug them in to this here adapter. So we'll do that. White to white, red to red, alright? Then next, what we're going to want to do is plug this right here into one of these on another headphone jack splitter. Next, you're going to take the headphone jack splitter, you're going to need to have a headphone jack or an aux cord for your speaker coming out of your speaker, right? Because without a speaker aux cord, this will not work. So you cannot do this with a Bluetooth speaker. I feel like this is kind of self-explanatory, but I'm telling you now in case you were just watching this, like, you could do it with a Bluetooth speaker. You can't do it with a Bluetooth speaker. You're going to have an aux cord port on it. That sounded unclear. So you can do it with a Bluetooth speaker as long as it has a headphone jack port on it, okay? Anyways, so what you're going to want to do is take this right here and plug it in to another. What do you want to do here? Okay, so here's what you're going to want to do. So you want to take this right here, right, and plug it into this right here. So you're going to want to have another one of these. Plug it in. Sorry about that. There you go. Now you've got it plugged in. So that was kind of unclear. I'm going to go over it again. So take your cord from over here, plug it in right here onto the adapter. Plug the adapter into your other headphone jack splitter, right? And then take your headphone jack splitter and plug it into a cord port like this, okay? So it should be like this. So it's plugged in right here onto the headphone jack splitter. Take the headphone jack on the headphone jack splitter and plug it into another port that's connected to your speaker, okay? You do have to be kind of experienced with sound stuff to understand this video, I would say. So there you go. And then the other jack on here, you're going to plug in. So let's say, like I have this here, so I have speakers right there, and I have speakers right here. So that means I'll have two channels, like right here, and I'll have one right here. So you're going to take the other headphone jack that's empty on your splitter and plug it in to the other way. So one moment. Boom. There you go. So just for reference, I'm going to play it what it sounds like without this first so that you know what it should sound like without that. Okay, so here's what it sounds like without distorted sound. There you go. I had to use a public domain song, otherwise I would have chose a cooler song than Hall of the Mountain King. So now, here it is plugged in. One moment, I have to put down my phone. Or I meant camera, I have a really fancy camera here. And this is how it's going to sound with it plugged in. So if it's all the way down here, you should hear a click when you flip it on, and the light should pop on. Boom. Let's turn it up a little bit. Now listen. Okay. When it's kind of distorted right here. Okay? Now I'm going to play it really quick here without it distorted through the speakers yet again so that you get yet another feel of what it should sound like. Out the line level booster hooked up. So here's how it sounds without the line level booster. There you go. Then I'm going to hook it back up. One moment. Here's how it sounds with the booster. Now, if you can't hear that distortion, I don't know what's wrong with your ears. But, yeah, that is how you hook up a Douk stereo line level booster right there. 20 decibel gain. It costs about $40 on Amazon. I'm not exactly sure what you do with it except for distort sound, but I think that you could use it for some sort of sound equipment other than just a tablet. But this is kind of what a normal person would use for this if you're not into like a sound job. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. I hope that this helped you. If you didn't understand what I was saying, hopefully the visuals did help you a lot with what you were supposed to do. And if those didn't help, then I don't know. but because there's no other YouTube videos on this exact thing, so good luck figuring it out on your own. Took me an hour and a half.